Welcome to Print That. I'm Joe, and today marks our 6-month episode. It's been 6 months of doing the podcast, providing news and info and hopefully entertainment to everybody listening. It's been a crazy road. We done quite a bit over the last 6 months. I remember sitting down and recording the first episode. I was very nervous, and 6 months into it, I think you've pretty much got things down, know how things are going to go. I look forward to recording many more episodes and providing a lot more news, information, tips, tricks, and entertainment for everybody. It's hard to believe that it was almost a year ago I got my first 3D printer, the little M3D Micro, and now I have upgraded from that. I have 2 machines now, Prusa i3 that I built myself and the little MeCreator 2. And I've been learning a lot since then, kind of getting an idea of how things work, and it's fun. It's been a great learning experience for me, and I look forward to learning more, watching 3D printing evolve and become integrated more into our daily lives. So as far as things that have happened over this last week, I've designed a few new things. I have a layer cooler for the MeCreator 2 that I have been working on. Right now I have got a prototype that fits, though I have not been able to use it yet. I need to get power to the fan. There is an extra plug on the board for the extruder that I have reached out to G-Tech for more information on. I want to see if that can be used, if I can actually plug into that, and it's just a switch within the Arduino software that enables or disables that port. Otherwise, there is a wire run that needs to be done from the actual print head itself down along the chassis into the base where the control board sits to get power. Or the other option is to build a little Y adapter cable that pulls power from where the extruder cooling fan is and splits that off to add a second port so I can plug in the fan for the active layer cooling. Either way, I should have that tested and functioning here within the next probably a couple of weeks, given the amount of time that I want to work with it. And there's a couple little design changes I'm kicking around, so it's going to probably increase the amount of time. But the good news is, in its current state, it can be printed in one shot with no support material, and to mount it to the MeCreator, it actually does not require any additional hardware. It uses 2 of the Allen head bolts that are in the front of the print carriage to attach to. So the only hardware that is necessary is the fan itself and any nuts and bolts to hold the fan on, or screws. And once that's done, I'll go ahead and post that up to my Thingiverse profile, and I'll link it out on the Print That website as well as through social media. So those looking forward to printing one of these can print it yourselves. And I will also include links to any hardware that's required. Other things I've been working on or looking forward to making is a GoPro mount for my MeCreator. I'm going to use kind of the similar design that I did with my spool stand, or my spool holder for my filament. I'll just make some modifications to that so it will hold the GoPro frame, and with that I'll be able to do time lapses of prints, so I can go ahead and include those with the YouTube audio that will be updated. Currently, our YouTube channel is lagging behind. I apologize for this, but I will make sure that by the end of this month, it gets up to date. I want to do staggered releases, so it's just not, blam, here's 20 or here's 16 new episodes. I want to kind of pace out over a couple of days. As far as that goes, I have had no other prints other than the few test prints of the layer cooler that I had. Just those are prints to make sure that my measurements were correct, and surprisingly, all of my holes were in the right place the first time, so that made my day. It was a nice, joyous occasion. I did make a small design flaw on my first initial version. I didn't attach some of the borders correctly, so I had a nice thin area. So that prompted a redesign anyway. I wanted to channel the air a little bit better, so I went through, made a second revision of that. Looked really, really good. The only problem is it hung down below the actual nozzle of the print head itself. So I had to go through on my third try and lift that up. And now it's nice because that sits about, if you were to level out your print head, it sits about 0.1 millimeter where your print head sits on the bed. So you got plenty of clearance. Even if there is something that's just poking up just a little bit, it should go over without any issues. And I also tested it out when I printed the second version that I gave to Andrew for his little Mii Creator, just to make sure that it wouldn't interfere with the print at all. So looks good. I'll be posting images of the test prints on the social media, on Twitter, and I will definitely, if you're interested in it, let me know, and I can send you the files, or at least send you the links to the files when that is done. This is the second Saturday in July that we're recording, and we do have a new print of the month that will be available. We'll be sending this out at the end of the month to those who have subscribed through the month of July, and kind of goes along with our last print of the month, which was the Space Invader. This is a Mario 1-Up mushroom. Kind of a nice little 8-bit image that we'll go ahead and send out. I'll get a few printed and post those here in the next week or so. And if you're interested, go out to Patreon, give us a subscribe. Our $5 a month subscribers will get you a print of the month. Past that, one of our listeners, John, he received a Mii Creator here a few weeks back, and unfortunately it came with a bent build platform. It had about a 10-degree incline on it. It was enough to prevent him from leveling the machine properly, and he wound up being able to make a couple of modifications to it so he could start getting some prints done, but really the machine wasn't at 100%. Well, he got his print bed, or his build platform, here yesterday, and using some instructions that I gave him, this is his first 3D printer and has never torn a printer apart, was looking for some guidance, so I sent him a little manual on how to tear the machine down and replace the build platform. Well, using those instructions, he was able to successfully get that changed out yesterday and is now printing. I'm really excited to see what his experience is like and see what he is able to print with his machine. Here a few moments ago, I talked a little bit about designing the active cooler and the GoPro mount for the Meat Creator. And for those of you who have listened in the past, I've made comment that my design software of choice is SketchUp. It's a free piece of software, and there's lots of other free software out there. Tinkercad, that's an online one from Autodesk. We have a link of those on our website. But I recently had a gentleman reach out and let me know through our website, his name is Kyle, aka Man Turtle, about Fusion 360 from Autodesk. It is a full-blown CAD software. I don't think it's as robust as AutoCAD, but the nice thing about Fusion 360 is it is cloud-based, but they offer a free version for students, enthusiasts, hobbyists, and startups. The student license is a 3-year license, and that covers both students and teachers. If you're a hobbyist, enthusiast, maker, or emerging business that makes less than $100,000 US per year, you can apply for a 1-year license. And at the end of the year, you can just reselect the startup entitlement or transition to a commercial entitlement. There's no functionality hits within the software. I have downloaded it today, and I'm getting familiar with it. So maybe one of my future designs will be done in Fusion 360 rather than SketchUp. Now, if you do decide to go to a commercial entitlement, price ranges, you don't just buy the software outright. Autodesk has a monthly subscription. So depending upon what kind of commitment you want, pricing can range anywhere from $25 to $40 per month. $40 is a month-to-month term, so I would imagine the $25 is if you paid for the full year in advance. The nice thing is they do also include tutorials and free training and tips from Autodesk. So if there is something you don't know how to do, or you want to learn how to get into the how to use the software right from their website, you can go in and you can do a whole list of tutorials. One of the first things that they do show you is that they have 12 tutorials that can be completed within 60 minutes. Now, obviously, that's probably 60 minutes without any type of distraction. And if you have a little bit of knowledge of CAD software, but I would imagine it wouldn't take very much longer if you're 100% new to this. Now, I'm not telling you about Fusion 360 because I think SketchUp's a bad piece of software, and I think it's great, but for generally basic designs, some of its default tools are lacking, though it does have a strong community which you can grab tools from. I think Fusion 360, what I'm looking forward to is seeing what it has out of the box so I can compare SketchUp to Fusion 360, and I believe, next week I'll be able to give a little bit more information on if I think if it's an easy transition from one to another, and who knows, I might be pleasantly surprised and it may be my program of choice. So recently I had a listener, John, it'd be the same John who had the bent print bed. He sent an email to me asking, what is feed rate? I accidentally hit it and I'm not sure what it did. I can't seem to find anything that specifies what I should be what I should be setting the feed rate at. And it's a good question. Being new to 3D printing, I generally thought that feed rate controlled the amount of filament that was being sent through the print head into the hot end and out the extrusion nozzle. And I was incorrect in this thinking. It actually, what feed rate does is it is the requested speed for all axes, X, Y, Z, and E. And it comes from CNC and other machines like milling machines and lathes because certain materials need to be cut at certain feed rates. It works the same for 3D printing by controlling the speed of the printer as a whole. So with your feed rate at 100%, the printer is running at normal speeds. Whereas if you change it to 50%, the printer is reduced to half speeds. It does not just deal with the extrusion of the filament. So this is a good way where you can experiment with speeds on complex models. If you need to slow it down for a little more detail, you can just do it right from the main screen of the printer. For those who have actual standalone controls rather than through your slicing software. But it's also a nice way to really see what your printer is capable of. Really turn the speed up and see if maybe those default settings that the printer is set to were a little conservative and you can get a little more speed without sacrificing quality of a print just by turning that dial and increasing it to 120%. I would recommend starting slowly and working your way up. You definitely want to keep track of your layer adhesion and the quality of the print. Sometimes printers can't keep up with that, whereas some other printers can. So it really is going to depend on the hardware in your machine and what you're printing. Simple objects without a lot of detail can probably be printed a lot faster than very complex models like figurines and things with moving parts. So give it a try, see what it does. I know that I'm going to be playing around with my feed rate on my Meat Creator and finding a nice balance, because once I get that, I can go into my slicing software settings or into my firmware of the printer and make adjustments to its speed. That way I can have that as my default, and then I can decrease that if I have models that I find won't print well with those settings. So on to news things. I got two pieces of news that actually I can relate to. My first piece of news is a 3D printed talus helps a Chinese patient walk freely again. Now, the talus is a bone where the tibia and fibula meet to form part of the ankle. It's right at the top of your foot, where your actual ankle hinges. So you have your shin that comes down, which consists of two bones that meet the top of the foot. Where those shin bones come down and meet is at the talus. If you have had any type of ankle injury, sprained an ankle, anything like that, generally that happens right at that talus joint. So 3 years ago, 27-year-old electrical engineer Mr. Fang fell down some stairs and sprained his ankle. And to treat the sprain, he initially underwent a traditional fracture surgery to reset the bone. Now, I've been through a similar surgery. I fell from a ladder here about 3.5 years ago, fell about 10 feet or so, and broke my calcaneus. Calcaneus is your heel. It's the actual bone when you take a step forward and your heel strikes the ground as you roll forward on your foot. The calcaneus is the actual heel bone itself. It sits right below the talus. And I can tell you, this is if either one of those two bones break, it is a very, very bad and painful injury. I wound up having to wait 2 weeks for the swelling to go down in my foot before they were able to operate and fix my broken heel and it required a plate and 8 screws to do so. It's amazing looking at the images on how they were able to fit 8 screws in a bone of that size. But I digress. So once the bone had reset, however, Mr. Fang began to suffer from what is known as talar necrosis, which is a condition where the talus bone is deprived from blood and oxygen and starts to die, and the condition actually prevented Mr. Fang from walking. Fortunately, he was brought to the Southwest Hospital seeking treatment and became the first ever patient to receive a biologically functional 3D printed talar implant. The talar joint implant, which uses high-tech materials and technology, not only has a support function, but can also allow for the patient to regain normal mobility. Currently, the treatment for talar necrosis is very limited and are often implemented at the cost of the ankle joint function. For instance, if the talus bone has already collapsed, the only method for treatment is to make the 4 ankle bones a dead joint, which, as you can imagine, seriously affects the patient's quality of life. And what they mean by dead joint is fusing those bones together. So you don't really have any ankle mobility. It's just you have a rigid plane, and your ankle does not actually move up or down or left or right, or does not have planar dorsal movement or inversion or eversion, if you're a medical person. It's very, very cool to see that they're able to do this. I know 3D printing bones is kind of the new big thing. I'm seeing a lot of news with regards to that. I myself, with my broken heel, I'm actually going through my 2nd round of physical therapy. I started that here a few weeks ago, and I've been experiencing some reduced mobility and some increased pain, and this is to help combat that. I'm sure that Mr. Fang is going through a lot of the same stuff that I'm going through with physical therapies and mobility treatments. My second piece of news actually ties right into this. A company called Aether has a 3D bioprinter which is using graphene and stem cells to print bone. Now, while Mr. Fang did not actually have a 3D printed bone replacement piece of hardware, his hardware was actually 3D printed out of other materials to replace that bone. So, in a recent video, it shows a basic prototype of the printer printing 2 bones connected by a tendon using 6 materials that include synthetic bone, conductive ink, stem cells, and graphene oxide. Kind of exciting, since it is a genuine bone replacement being made from a bone-like material. It's not like a metal implant, which normally what they have for hips, knees, and other pieces of joint and bone repair. So Aether is actually hoping to offer their 3D print or their 3D bioprinter for a price range around $9,000, which is a bargain compared to other 3D bioprinters, which can cost up to $200,000. So, again, prices coming down on these things. Companies are coming up with new ideas which help reduce costs, which will, in the long run, help make these treatments and these options more affordable to everyday people. So, as everybody is aware, we're big into gaming. And I have recently been playing Uncharted 2. I started that when I had my PS3, wound up upgrading to a PS4, and I was not able to finish the game. Well, I wound up picking up the Nathan Drake collection, which has the remastered editions of Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and restarted Uncharted 2 and finished that here this last week. In addition to finishing Uncharted 2, I started Uncharted 3 and finished that last night, Friday night. And right after that, I swapped over, and now I'm playing Batman Arkham Knight. These are a few games that I have been wanting to finish, and I am excited to be playing this Batman game. It was kind of the reason why I picked up the PS4. It was just as it came out. They had a special promotion, and I wound up trading in my PS3 and a couple of old 360s I had laying around, and I have now started Batman Arkham Knight. I know there was a lot of issues with the PC release when it was first introduced, so I'm glad I didn't go down that road. The console versions have been just fine, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how things play out in this installment of the Batman series. I've played and beaten both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and I have genuinely enjoyed the storylines of these games, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do now. Other than playing on the console, I'm probably going to just blitz through and finish Fallout 4. Little tired of the never-ending quests, the go fetch these quests from everybody. I understand that those were put in place to help build your followers' loyalty points, but I think there comes a point in time where as a completionist, I need to focus and just get through the game. So I plan on finishing that probably in the next week or two. Looking forward to seeing how it ends. I have a sneaking suspicion on where it's going, but I've been fortunate enough to not have any spoilers. I have been playing some Overwatch. It's been fun. Frustrating at times, but all in all, I enjoy the game, especially when, I can get on with friends and we can get in a nice coordinated team and really play some good matches. In addition to that, I do plan on playing some more Grim Dawn and Dead by Daylight. I've been trying to get some additional friends to pick up Dead by Daylight so we can actually play as a friend team, but unfortunately I've had no takers. If you own a copy, go to the website, send me a message, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to add you to my Steam friends list and play some Dead by Daylight with you. I do have some gaming news. Evolve this last week, similar to Dead by Daylight, it kind of started the whole asynchronous hero monster survival type game. It went free to play. There was a big to-do when Evolve first launched with their DLCs. If you got the game, you paid your $60 for the game. But then if you wanted anything else within the game, you had to buy their DLCs, which included a few map packs. But there's other things that went along with it. And the price of that game quickly escalated to over $100. And the company caught a lot of flack for this, and I think it was rightly so. It was kind of a jerk move to do that with DLCs rather than microtransactions. Well, now they have introduced the free-to-play version of Evolve, and these other things are now included as microtransactions. I think it's kind of a good thing for them, seeing as how since they went free to play, their player base has increased 16,000%. So getting a game, finding a game in Evolve is definitely going to change. It's more people means a lot more fun. You're going to be encountering people who have played a lot, but you're also going to encounter people who have not played as much. They're going to be new people. Evolve was one of those games that I really was looking forward to, and unfortunately, I saw what was going to happen with their DLC, and I missed that one. But free to play, I will wind up giving it a try, seeing what it's like, and with any luck, may find you online. Other gaming news, it looks like Blizzard is hiring a director for a possible new Diablo game. Not sure if it's an actual new, like a Diablo 4, or if it is additional content for Diablo 3. I know Diablo 3 has had Reaper of Souls content come out, and they haven't had anything new past that. There's been some free updates, and but as far as actual content for the game, actual storyline, there hasn't been much. I'm not 100% sure where they would go with it from Reaper of Souls for additional content without going to a whole new game. But it's exciting to see that they're still interested in the Diablo IP, and they're going to be moving that forwards at some point. The drawback is this is Blizzard, which means that it could be 5 years before we see anything. But I do know when we see it, it will be a finished product and will meet all of our expectations. As far as other news goes, here a while back, Disney announced that they had plans to sell super realistic 3D printed replicas of some of the most iconic Star Wars props from The Force Awakens. And from everything that I'm seeing, from people's reactions online to the actual images of the props themselves, they are definitely living up to the hype. Now, they're definitely not cheap, though, and range anywhere from $1,250 for a lightsaber hilt or raised staff, all the way up to $3,500 for a limited edition of Darth Vader's melted helmet. You may think, wow, this is a lot, but if you look at it, these are Disney made, so they're going to live up to the high standards of Disney and the Star Wars franchise. They're not some knockoff. So if you do have a totally obsessed Star Wars fan in your life, this would be a perfect gift for them, especially if you're looking at going all out. As you've noticed, this week was a little different. I am without Andrew. Unfortunately, it's not just for a week or two. I got approached by Andrew yesterday when we were leaving work, and he let me know that some things have come up in his personal life, and he has to make some changes to get a little extra time for some things that are, that he needs to address, and he had to step down from hosting the podcast. So currently, it is just me. At this point in time, I'm continuing solo. I think what I'm doing here is helpful for a lot of people. There's still not a lot of 3D printing information available that helps with getting familiar with the technology. I know you can go out to YouTube and find some video channels that they do cover some 3D printing things, and I encourage that. Go check those guys out. But, for me, this is also helping me. It helps me learn the technology. Unfortunately, like I say, I don't have that other person to kind of bounce things off of. I'm not 100% sure what Andrew's plans are for the future. He did make comment about maybe coming back in at some point, but with the way things are going, it's probably not going to be real soon in the future. It's probably going to be a while. So I will continue on. I do have some things that I'll be doing live here in the next, probably this next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, if you're in the North Idaho area and you're interested. The North Idaho Computer Users Group, their website is nicug.us. They meet every Tuesday in Coeur d'Alene, and I am working with the guy, one of the founders, Bill, about doing a small 3D printer presentation and a question and answer session during one of their upcoming meetings. I will be also looking at doing some other types of engagements, so keep an eye out for those. Besides that, if you have any questions or you want to say, hi, go to our website, idprintthat.com. Right on the main page at the bottom, there is a little link where you can click on that, and has a little form page. You can send us an email, and I would be more than happy to answer your questions. If you've got, if you don't know what something is, or if you need help with an issue that you have, send me a message. I will do my best to help you out. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm doing this. I was fortunate enough to have Andrew for the time that he was available to help with this stuff, but that doesn't mean that I can't find the answer that you're looking for, or I can't ask him one day at work and see if I might be able to get a little more information on it. The nice thing is you're still going to have that outlet to reach me. Also available on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Google, Instagram, and any other social platform that I may have overlooked. You can get to those links straight from our website, or just by doing a quick search for I'd Print That. You should be able to find us. Give us a like, a subscribe. If you really are dedicated and you want to get prints of the month, you can go out to Patreon and sign up to be a patron and donate. We do have $1 donations, which get you a hearty hello. The $5 per month donations will get you a print of the month. Like I said, this month is the Mario Little 1-Up Mushroom. Besides that, other ways to support the podcast. Here this last week, I have set up an Amazon affiliates account, and I will be making some additions to the website that link some basic 3D printing supplies and tools. Calipers, laser thermometers, blue painter's tape, filaments, some printing parts. So if you're in the need for some of these supplies and you go to Amazon anyway, go to our website, click on the link, and it's not going to change anything about the how your order is processed or who it goes through. It's just going to provide us a little kickback, so we can make a little money here to support the podcast. Other than that, I thank you for listening. I will be speaking to you again next week. I'm Joe, and remember, if you can imagine it, you can print it.